What's going on, everybody? Josh from Cook VYPE Media back for another edition of the Coach's Corner with Dennis Silva II, Sean McDowell of Foster Falcons, and James Williams of those Fort Bend Marshall Buffs. Back for another week, and we'll start with Coach Williams. Coach coming off a tough playoff opening loss to Barbers Hill last week. Just take a few seconds to kind of reflect on that game and kind of what happened there for your Buffs.
And it's definitely tough, definitely one of those that you look back and, what went wrong or what could you have done different. But like I said last week, I give credit to Barbers Hill and Coach Itascacita. It's a good football program. They're doing a heck of a job. They have a great senior group. I talked to them before the game. He has a really solid senior group there, and they played well. They played more physical than we did, going into that game. I don't want to say it too much, but we had a pretty good regular season, and we ended up, running the clock a lot of the games and kind of, winning by big scores, and it kind of caught up to us in the end, having that adversity, having that fight throughout the season. We didn't have that going into the game, because we had, we're being so successful in the regular season and, playing a good Barbers Hill team. They earned it. They played more physical than we did. And, you guys know, you talked to me all year, you got to win the line of scrimmage. And that night we did not win the line of scrimmage. Hats off to them. They did a great job, and we wish them luck the rest of the playoffs.
And for both of you, we've talked throughout the entire year. Both your programs are known for winning and making playoff runs and stuff like that. And to kind of be where y'all are right now, do you try to bottle that up as coaches and kind of use that as fire for the guys that are coming back for next year, and kind of use that fire into the off season to try to get them going heading into next year already?
I say yes. If you're not, then I don't think you're doing yourself and your program a service. Like, they're going to hear 5-5 from now until August 10th or whatever. Let's be honest. Even when we lost to Shadow Creek in the fourth round, we had shark memorabilia everywhere. It didn't work because we lost to them the next year in the third round. But, at least it gives you some motivation. We're in a position where we are because we're competitive men as well. My coaching staff. And so, if that's going to be our fire, then that's what it's going to be. If you're fine with 5-5, then you can't be here. I know I've been exited in the first round before, so I know exactly how Coach Williams feels. And I think he knows exactly how I feel. And so, really at the end of the day, there's only going to be 12 people that are happy, right? 12 teams. That's where it is, right? And so, it's not good enough to lose. You don't want to lose. There's so much work and so much dedication put into this. Behind the scenes, when the kids are at home, we're at the field house working. We putting out laundry at 7 a.m. just so they can have stuff ready. All that stuff matters. That's why football matters and winning matters. And so you just try to, I don't know, I'm still fired up about it. So, I don't think it ever goes away. So, everything heals with time, but 5-5 will be on that resume, and we'll be on that thing forever, so it is what it is. So,
yeah, definitely. If it doesn't motivate you, if it doesn't hurt, deep inside, then you don't need to be doing this. We had, just like Sean, we had goals this year. We had a vision and a plan for accomplishing those goals, and it just didn't go well. But one thing I told my kids that same night, it's going to be times in life where things are not going to go your way. It's going to be times in life where you're going to have to, but you're going to fail. And you're going to have to, how do you respond? This program is not done. It's unacceptable to lose in the first round. It's nothing positive that, it's hard because you always want to say, hey, find something positive out of it. Find something good. Yes, it was a good season. We're going to give credit to that. As far as a good regular season, we won some football games. We had a lot of good times, a lot of great relationships in senior class. I really feel for them, but it's unacceptable. And, we're going to go back to the drawing board, and we're going to get this thing fixed, and we'll be right back. Our goals don't change. We got to, make some adjustments to get us to that goal and find out, figure out why this happened and how we can make sure it doesn't happen again. But it's definitely not acceptable and something we're okay with. It's the blessing and the curse of, having a program that you want to be one of the best in the state of Texas every year is that you have those goals. And if you don't reach those goals, sometimes it's considered a letdown. But, this will be our motivation for next year. We're going right back to work. We're as soon as we come back from Thanksgiving break, we're hitting it. All season starts Monday after Thanksgiving break for us. And, you know, it's unfortunate to be that way, but it is. And we're going to get our tails to work, and we're going to get on the track, and we're going to get and do all the things we do in the off season to make this program what it is, and hopefully get better.
I want to ask both of y'all, obviously, I think we said 2015 was the last time both of you were in this position this early in the playoffs. What is the balance when you're dealing with, okay, you know that 5 of the last 6 years you've gone and been so successful? What is the balance between changing stuff, whether it's practices, how you schedule, how you do certain things, player evaluation, whatever, and sticking the same, and like maybe this is the aberration, maybe this is the year that the random year that things don't happen? What is that balance like where you try not to change too much, or you try to go the other way and change a lot, maybe?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, because, you know, at the end of the day, you know, and I always refer to, you know, my friend Sean, you know, Coach McDowell is a great coach. You know, he all of a sudden didn't become a worse coach this year. You know, just certain things didn't happen right, you know, and he's obviously got a winning program and a winning formula for success. So, yeah, you don't throw that stuff in the garbage can and say we're going to just start everything from scratch and throw everything away. You know, obviously you have things you believe in, a plan and a foundation of your program you're going to stick to, but everything needs to be altered. I don't care if we win a state championship this year, you still got to make adjustments at times and still got to always try to get better, you know, but it starts up top, you know, it starts with us. And I told my staff and, you know, and the team, it's going to start with me. You know, we're going to make some adjustments. We're going to make some improvements, and it's going to start with me. I'm going to look at everything from the bottom to the top to the bottom and figure this thing out, you know, because we got to we got to make sure this doesn't happen again, you know, and if, you know, if there's things need to be, sometimes change is hard. Sometimes the realization, look yourself in the mirror and say, you know what, this has got to be better. Sometimes it's difficult for some people, but if you want to be successful, you got to be able to do that. You got to be strong enough to do that. So, again, we're not going to scrap everything. We will look at everything. We will fine tune everything with a comb, and whether it's the way we practice, whether it's the way we meet, the way that we work in the off season, our summer program, our pregame schedule, you know, the day of the game, you know, our weekend, you know, meetings and things we do in preparation for game planning. You know, everything has got to be looked at again. But again, this is an annual thing that we do anyway. You know, regardless if we play for a state championship or not, we always got to look for that. But, you know, maybe a little more deeper this time and not be afraid to make change and not be, you know, because the game is evolving all the time, you know, and if we're not evolving with it, you know, if we're not trying to stay up with, you know, getting our kids to be positive, be great leaders, play with discipline, then, you know, we're going to fall behind. And we got to make sure that this year was hopefully just something that happened and get back to playing Thanksgiving week. I mean, it's my funnest time of the year. My best week of the year is practicing during Thanksgiving break. There's nothing like practicing during Thanksgiving break. And, you know, we're fortunate this program that we have been to the fourth round and beyond, you know, 5 straight years. You know, that's a good accomplishment, and that's something that we strive to get back and let's get to 5 more starting next year, you know. So it's definitely going to start with us up top and fixing this thing.
Yeah, I mean, I piggyback on that. I mean, 2015 on, we've been Thanksgiving or better. So that's third round or better. Yeah, since 2015. I mean, I don't even know what I'm going to do with myself, to be honest with you. You know, like, what do we do? Because if I'm not going to be practicing, if we're not going to have our traditional Thanksgiving luncheon on Wednesday afternoon, what in the world? You know, so it's like extra motivation. But, yeah, I think right now, I mean, anytime that, you know, you go in, you self-reflect, right? And so losses tend to help make you self-reflect more than a win will, right? Yeah. Even though we ended with a loss, we still, you know, had a 5-5 season. That's what we are. That's who we are. Right. And so you go in and say, what did we let go? What have we allowed that we didn't allow before? What have we done that has changed? Right. What's the winning formula? And the bottom line is really it comes down to, you know, every year is different and every class of kids is different. You know, I mean, you can run the same play with one kid and get 30 yards. You can run the exact same play with another kid and get 3 yards. You know, and other schools get different. I mean, you could talk culture, you could talk, you know, processes and everything that you do every day. I think there's stuff that you believe in and you stick to it, but I think every year is different. And, you know, like Coach Williams said, man, you just go over it with a fine-tooth comb. What do we do different? You know, you toe that line a little bit more. You call roll, and that's what we're doing right now. Who's about it? Who just talks about it, and who's really about it? That's what we're trying to find out. And, you know, we got to grow up. We got to grow up a lot. We're going to need the assistance of our coaches and our administration and our parents that have to commit, because if they're fine with 5-5, then it ain't good enough, because obviously if you continue to do the same thing and expect different results, right, it's a pure definition of insanity. So this is really, I love football season, but I really like off season and leading up to it just as well, because, you get to build. Like, so we're about to hit the first quarter of our season. So we got to do things a little bit differently to adjust to what the kids that we got coming up are going to do. And thankfully we have a lot of the same kids coming back, but we got to get a whole lot better if we're going to achieve our goals,
Yeah, I think that's always the interesting thing, because, people see, in August it's 2-day start, and everyone thinks, oh, that's the start of football season. But, it starts for y'all the day or a week or a couple weeks after the last season ends, and then, you guys get guys in track and other sports and different things like that through the off season. And then, I guess that's kind of a misconception. People think football just starts in August, but really y'all's off-season program is a crucial part of the success that y'all have come November. And how much y'all focus on that part of it now that, especially the seasons that y'all had, and then just kind of like honing in on that part to use that to kind of fuel into the summer and on.
It's the foundation of what we do. It honestly is. And I know Coach Williams is going to say the same thing, because this is the first quarter of our season. Like, this is the foundation of the house that will be built in August, right? Because we need to get them disciplined. We need to teach them how we do things, like energy and effort and the pride of being here at Foster High School. And I want to see you quit or excel in off season before I put you on that field, because I don't want to put you on that field and thinking you're going to quit. I want to know that we've done things that are going to make you mentally and physically tough, right? And challenge you as an athlete and basically as a man, so that you are ready to fight the battles that you're going to face and adversity that you're going to face in the football season, because it's coming, right? It's a microcosm of life, right? And so we want to we're going to try to build them up into the young man and players that we want them to be, and we use that as a tool in our off season. It is organized chaos, right? Get after their tails. Yeah. It's a very boot camp-ish type atmosphere. It's a very challenging atmosphere. It's not boot camp for 12 months, but there is a similar resemblance to boot camp type deal. Everybody looking the same, everybody doing stuff, command weights, very structured. But we need it to be that way because, one, I don't know any other way, and two, is that's what football needs. I need everybody to be on the same page at the same time, listening and understanding the directions that they are given, and then go out and execute as a team. And so that's what we're going for. Yep.
Yeah, I couldn't say it any better. That's exactly it. That's the foundation of what we're doing. We got to get started and have that extra motivation on our side and behind us, and see it on a regular basis, and to drive us. And like I said, if it don't hurt right now, then you shouldn't be in it. So we got to, make sure these guys want it and make them earn it.
Yeah, and you talk about coaches and just the relationships they have. Coach McDowell texted Coach Williams or called Coach Williams the morning after their game, and they talked it out. They talked it out Saturday morning. But for you, Coach Williams, is that just special, like that relationship you have with Coach McDowell and other coaches, where it's really kind of a fraternity where y'all kind of take care of each other and check on each other? That call had to mean something to you for him to call you the day after the game and talk about it.
Absolutely. We're brothers. This thing is more than just a game for us. We truly live this. And I tell people, my family lives this. Our families lives this with us. This is not just, my kids are in tears. My wife is feeling the emotions. Everybody is feeling this. So, we're in this for a reason. And, it's not just, hey, we're in this to have some fun. No, we're in here to make a difference. We're in here, we're setting our goals, working our tails off. We put a lot of effort and time into this, spending more time with our teams and our players more than our own kids. So, having that brother to give you that phone call and seeing that text message and to pick you up is definitely appreciated. And again, this is more than just a job. This is our life. And this is especially from August through December. Hopefully, December 18th is our job. And so there's definitely love and family involved with this.
Yeah, I would say it's a fraternity. it's a fraternity that we do because there's only a select amount of people that know exactly what you're going through, as far as the daily fight of high school athletics. And, James and I being both head coaches, we can relate more than we would be to an assistant coach because we're going to fight the same type of battles. Him and I, we go way back, like 20 years way back.
Yes,
like we got our bus certification together. So, and boys as assistants for a long time. And it's been awesome to see hit the rise of his career, and I'm his biggest fan besides his wife, but I'll fight her for it if she wants it. So, I love him to death, and so like I want to beat his tail on Friday night though, But Friday night after we play, we're gonna go out to dinner. We're gonna love on each other. It's competitive nature, but it's all love at the end of the day, right? Because football ends for us all. Right? When James and I are done coaching, guess what? I'm still going to call them, and we're still going to go. We're going to be the old guys on IHOP talking about the coaches today, that day. That's my plan. And so I think people forget that and think we're going to dog each other and all that kind of stuff. That's not how this thing works. Now, is there some of that? Probably, right? But, for the most part, coaches are going to be cordial. We're going to be competitive, and we're all in the same gang, for lack of a better term, And so it really is a fraternity, and it's a team inside a team.
Yeah. Because he gets cursed out by parents just like I do.
Well, I've been here 9 years, so I'd say about 40 to 45% of the population hates my guts now. So, at some point,
This is gonna be. It's down the road. It's gonna be Coach McDowell, Coach Williams sitting at IHOP sharing Shirley Temples over a stack of pancakes, talking some football.
Hey, I'll do that tomorrow if you want.
Yes.
Or star on their own Coach's Corner show. Either one, whichever one.
Remember that time I beat you in Pick'em?
No, I don't actually. No, I don't.
Right, exactly.
No, I don't remember. Maybe it was this.
I don't think I'm qualified to pick anymore.
Yeah.
Coach McDowell's ring is on order right now.
That's right. My God.
I'm sure he's contacted his people. Speaking of Pick'em, we'll get to that now. Playoff Pick'em we started last week. Coach Williams, Coach McDowell, and myself all going 4-1 in the week. Dennis Silva II going 3-2 coming out of the gates to start. He just shrugs. He's like, I know Josh is gonna mess up at some point. It's inevitable. Just inevitable.
Yeah, but he's got a fresh haircut, so he's looking the best today. He got
trying to be like you. Trying to be like y'all.
Sexiest man alive.
We'll put him on a VYPE cover one day. Yeah. We'll have to make that a VYPE cover. This week, a good slate of games. It's going to get interesting going in the second round of the playoffs. The first one we'll start with is Spring coming off the big win against the Woodlands. They get Klein Kane. It's an interesting matchup just because Klein Kane playing really good football. Here late, a lot of people early in the season, they lost to Bridgeland and thought the world was falling. And then Klein Kane played a really good regular season. So Spring versus Klein Kane, a matchup of two pretty good quarterbacks.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a great one. It's playoff time, so they are going to be good ones. But I'm kind of going to continue on my same theme. Coach Clancy is a friend of Sean and I's, and does a great job with that program. Very well coached. I might go watch them practice because they do such a good job. Since I don't have any practice to have myself, but I don't think I'm gonna go on my theme from last week, and I'm going with defense. I think Spring's defense is just playing so well right now, and with two quarterbacks as well as they have, it's going to come down to the other side of the ball. And I think Spring may be a little more stout in that category, so I'm gonna go with Spring over Klein Kane.
Yeah, I hate to go to Coach Clancy. That's my boy, but I know them guys are playing really well at Spring. I think that quarterback's Bishop Davenport is a game changer. I'm gonna go with James. Go with James on this one about as far as defense. I think Spring's defense. I don't know. I know Klein Kane is playing pretty well, but I feel like Spring might be a little bit more battle tested. So I'm gonna also go with Spring.
Yeah, same thing for me. I'm gonna go with Spring, Bishop, and then that defense. That's a tough combination to come away with after 4 quarters. I think it'll be a really good game, maybe even an overtime game. I think Klein Kane's gonna give them a test, but I think Spring gets this one in the end.
Ooh, Silva's going overtime. He's calling OT. That's probably because he's not going to that game. He's like, I don't care if it goes to overtime. I'm not there anyway.
I just want a good game.
As sports journalists, you never mention the words overtime in a press box. It's like saying no hitter in an MLB press box. Same thing. I'm gonna go spring as well. I think Gerard Henderson on the defensive line is one of the most underrated defensive players in the city of Houston. He's a big defensive end that some college needs to come pick up. And then with spring, they just have so many offensive weapons for Davenport to spread the ball around to at wide receiver. Caden Browley is unbelievable at receiver as well. So I think spring's just going to have too much firepower, and I think they take down Klein Kane. The next one, this is going to be a fun one. Itascacita takes on Dickinson. Is this the year that Dickinson finally gets past the second round that's kind of been their bugaboo over the last few years, running into programs like North Shore and stuff? Or is it Itascacita's time to continue rolling as they came out and smacked around Deer Park last week?
I'm going to go with Itascacita. I learned a long time ago to not go against Itascacita. So I'm going to go ahead and go with those guys. And I feel like, I hate to go against Coach Nelson and Dickinson, but, man, that is a tough area because whoever wins that one probably gets to play North Shore. So congratulations, So – I'm going to go with I'm going to take Itascacita on this one.
I'll go with you, Sean, on that one. We know Coach Nelson and his program he's built down there, and they've had a good year. I think they finished the regular season 9-1. 8-2. But Itascacita is just so athletic across the board. They're big up front. They're playing a little better defense this year as well. I think it's probably going to be another North Shore Itascacita matchup again, like you just mentioned. So I'll go with Itascacita.
Yeah, I think last year in this matchup, I would have said undoubtedly Itascacita. I think Itascacita wins, but I think Dickinson's profile on the resume this year is really impressive. So, the Manville win. The only two losses are Ridgepoint and Katy, and both of those games were pretty close. Yeah. I think Dickinson's taken that character program next level, but I just think, like everyone said, Itascacita, just the talent and the quickness and the speed, the fact that they've been here before, they've done it before, I think that helps. But, man, I think it's going to be really close. This might be the best game of the week.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because I had questions about Itascacita coming into the playoffs just because Zion Brown at quarterback, and they took care of Deer Park last week, and they've got so many weapons. I think it's Itascacita as well. I think they're playing really good football now. I think I saw them against North Shore. They struggled, but it's facing North Shore, who potentially they could face in the next round. But I think in this instance, I'm going to go with Itascacita as well. I'm going to go with the Eagles over Dickinson. Let's see, what other games do I have? C.E. King takes on Shadow Creek. Shadow Creek kind of have a little bit of a second-half comeback last week to win their game. C.E. King playing really good football right now. Is this the year C.E. King punches their way into the third round?
I like C.E. King a lot this year. I went to one of their games earlier in the year when they played Huntsville, and the physicality they played with and the confidence they were playing with early on, I like a lot. They're in a tough district, going in there with North Shore and Itascacita and Summer Creek is in there. They fared out rather well in that district. I think it's going to be a good game. Shadow Creek, we all know Shadow Creek and the athletes they have coming and the program they have right there. I think it's going to come down to a physical game. I forgot the young man's name, but they have a really, really good center for C.E. King, who's a Power 5 kid. I think it's going to be a physical football game, and I'm going to take C.E. King. You talk about battle tested. The district they're in is pretty doggone tough, and so I'm going to go ahead and go with C.E. King for this one.
Ooh, I think this is where we'll make our deviation. So, I like the matchup. I think C.E. King is physical. I think that Shadow Creek is probably playing pretty good balls. I think they're here and there, but I think they're peaking sort of at the right time. I think whoever wins this game, if I'm correct, they play Katy, right? Whoever wins this game plays Katy. Yep. So I think Shadow Creek's pretty motivated. So if I can't beat them, I join them. So I'm going to go with the Sharks of Shadow Creek on this one.
Yeah, Shadow Creek is playing really well. 9 straight wins, especially since that 0-2 start where they played North Shore and Bridgeland. I think Shadow Creek. It will be Shadow Creek against probably Katy next week. I think that defense is really clicking well. I think the offense is well. I think talent-wise, these are two equal teams. But I think as far as who's playing better and who's just really hit a stride, I think that's Shadow Creek. Even though CE Kings were battle-tested, they played coastal games, they played really top-notch competition. I just think Shadow Creek's on a roll that's pretty hard to stop right now, and I think they'll get to the next round. See probably Katy.
Yeah, I think Shadow Creek, if I'm not mistaken, Katy beat Shadow Creek last year in the playoffs on their way to the state championship. And Shadow Creek actually played Katy the closest of any of their postseason opponents. So you know Shadow Creek wants that game again. CE Kings had a great season. They've had the two running backs that have been unbelievable, rumbling out of that backfield. I think Shadow Creek's got the size on the D-line to hopefully may slow them down. But also I think the key for Shadow Creek is that they have a quarterback that has developed throughout the season. Duke Butler has continued to get better and better each week. He's Coach's kid. We talked about him all season. So I think Shadow Creek gets back to the third round. I think they get Katy next week. And then we'll see who I pick in that game potentially. I'm going with the Shark. Shark Bite's going to be too much this week. Silva's very shaking his head. That's where my pickings are going to get blown up next week, by the way, Dennis. Moving on, College Park. I think first ever playoff win for them, or in a long time. They take on Bridgeland this week. Bridgeland had to sneak one out against Klein Collins last week. Won it with 15 seconds left to go. Little peek behind the curtain. By the way, I had the graphic ready to go for Klein Collins and the upset, and maybe I jinxed it. That might be on me, guys. My bad. My bad. So we'll go College Park against Bridgeland. Does Bridgeland win again and keep the Connor Wickman train rolling?
I definitely say Bridgeland on that one. I think that train's gonna keep moving, keep rolling. College Park did get a good win last week against Nimitz, but until I see a strong defense come around to stop that offensive Bridgeland, stop that quarterback, I just think that they're going to keep rolling.
I agree. I think they're just trying to figure it out right now. I think that Bridgeland, might go up and down, but I think they're on the uptick. So I'm going to go with Bridgeland on this one as well.
Yeah, I'm going to go Bridgeland too, although I'm not as confident in saying Bridgeland. I think there's a way where who are they playing?
College Park.
Yes, College Park. I think there's a way where College Park makes this game and makes it interesting. And Bridgeland the last few weeks has just something's off. I know Connor's been hurt, but just something in the way they go about their play, almost as if they relax a little bit when they get late, almost as if they think they can just come back at any point and put together touchdowns and win a game. I don't know what it is, but I think they need to play with a little bit better sense of urgency. And I hope this game they show start to finish just how good they are, both offensively and defensively, and not that they just hope to wing it in the second half and just lean on Connor the whole time, because that's going to bite you in 2 to 3 more weeks if that's what you're hoping on.
Yeah, I'm going to go Bridgeland as well. I knew that Klein Collins game was going to be close. I felt like Klein Collins was playing really good football, and they could maybe catch Bridgeland in that first round, and they almost did. I mean, maybe, and that could maybe be the wake-up call to Bridgeland of like, hey, it took us a last-second ditch effort here to beat Klein Collins in the first round, or if that pass falls incomplete or something goes crazy, we're sitting at home this week. So I think this is going to be – I think this week Bridgeland's going to come out with a little bit more fire maybe under them, and I think they're going to take care of College Park and keep rolling. So I'm going to go Bridgeland in this one. The next one, the last one for this week, going to go dip down into 5A. Denton Ryan takes on Magnolia West in Waco on Saturday. Both 10-1 teams duking it out. Who wins that one? Pretty sure Denton Ryan won a state championship last year. I think they're the defending state champions. So does Mag West knock off the defending state champs on Saturday?
No. No, they do not. I think, hey, hats off to Mag West. Heck of a season. Dan Ryan's rolling. They got it going. So I don't see that happening. I think maybe they'll give him a good game, and because Mac West does a great job offensively. I think Denton Ryan has got too much, and that's my pick to win it all again. They got it rolling there. I know College Station's Hank Lumen out there, but I really think that Denton Ryan is going to roll and probably win the whole thing, so I'm taking Denton Ryan.
I'm going to agree with Sean for sure. That's going to be Denton Ryan. Great season by Magnolia West. They've done a great job. I've picked them several times this year, but I just think Denton Ryan's too strong. They're what they're doing this year in their history in the state championship last year. It's tough to follow. It's very impressive, and it's a type of program we hope to be one day here when it's state championships like they're doing. But I'll definitely give that one to Denton Ryan.
Yeah, too. I'm going with Denton Ryan. I don't think it'll be close. I think for a lot of the same reasons both coaches have said for, is just the pedigree, the talent, the fact that they won it last year, and they've been here before. Magnolia West has had a great season, but I don't think they've played anyone like a Denton Ryan. I think that's what's weird and quirky about 5A is like you meet someone like this right away, and it can be. I mean, it's no one you've ever seen before. There's nothing wrong with that. Like there's just a different level of talent at these certain levels. But yeah, I think it's Denton Ryan. I don't think it's close.
What to do?
Uh-oh.
You know what?
Uh-oh.
Magnolia West
Wow.
upsets the state champions on Saturday. Hunter Bilbo, the senior running back, Brock Dalton at quarterback. I think they've got the stats. Yeah, okay. They lost to College Station early in the year 41-20. I get that. I get they lost that game. I think that game, though, they can take something from that. They're going to go on the road. Bold pick. I'm going Magnolia West to upset Denton Ryan. I think both teams are senior heavy, or Magnolia West is more senior heavy. They've got the senior quarterback. They got the senior running back. They're out to prove something this year. And plus, Denton Ryan a few weeks ago, they got into that with Lone Star. They won like 7-6. A weird like end of season game. Didn't really like do anything at the end of the season. So I'm gonna go Magnolia West. My bold prediction. I'm rolling the dice.
I like it. Throw them out there. That's what become great. I like it.
I feel like that video is going to be circulated on Denton Ryan Twitter sphere here in the next 2 days.
Go be great, man. Go be great.
That fan base will definitely let you know.
Go big or go home.
That's
you
right.
can find my Twitter handle on Twitter. It's fine. My DMs are open.
Watch the show. That means they're watching the show, though.
That is true.
True.
That is true. I think it's going to be a good game. It's 2 10-1 teams. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be a good game. Dennis Silva's shaking his head. He's saying it's not going to be.
I hear you.
He thinks I've lost my marbles.
Yes. Long ago, but yeah, especially today.
Hey, I've got a 1-game lead over you right now. So
I know. So thank you. I appreciate this.
You had a 1-game lead.
Oh, he's like, you had a 1-game lead. Oh my goodness.
Before that last pick.
You know what? If history shows anything, I finished 4th in the regular season pick'em. I go big or go home. It's gonna work one of these days. It's gonna work one of these days.
I have faith in you.
Well, that's because you picked Denton Ryan. So. All right. Well, that'll put a wrap on this week's episode of the Coach's Corner. We're back here every Wednesday. We'll be here throughout the playoffs, picking some of the biggest games throughout the Texas High School football playoffs, and also picking the brains of Coach McDowell and Coach Williams. We appreciate your time, coaches. As always, we'll see everyone back here next week.